So I'll just start now straight away and show you what to do. The first thing we do is we cut out our pieces, and I have lined up 2 pieces, cutting 2 at once, that are 4 inches by 4.5. This is for the 2 bits of skirt, and 2 pieces lying on top of each other that are 4.5 by 2 inches, and they are for the wings. We use our bone folder to just gently, very gently curl the wings. One little swipe each end. Then a tiny little dab of the Tombow glue on the edge there. Hold it in place. Tiny bit of dab there. Just give it a little squeeze, and then I usually just pop it in between my fingers when I'm doing the second one. Another tiny little dab. Just a hint, if you put too much on, lots of people think by putting more on it's going to stick better. With the Tombow it doesn't actually stick better. It takes longer to dry, and it takes longer therefore to actually stick. So, and also it always squeezes out the edge, and if that happens you're going to end up with very, very sticky fingers. Now you might notice with these ones, these wings, that one side is a little fatter than the other, so we're just going to make sure that we have the broader side facing up. Skirts. So again, just the tiniest little bit of Tombow along the edge there. And we make sure that we join the points down together and just give it a little tap, because again the glue is going to spread. We do both of these at the one time, and we do them exactly the same with the same pattern up, facing up. We use our tea lace doily, so I'm just going to add a little bit of Tombow for that to stick on. Don't want too much there. Then we can add our wings onto the front and our head. So we'll start with our, again, just a little tiny bit of glue there on the top, and just place the head so it is just at that neck. You can see where the join would have been, just so this would fit over the top of the head there, just like that. So that's where the head goes, and then that makes it much easier now to join the wings on. I find it easier to actually put a little bit of glue on the wing itself, and I'm going to angle that up so that it faces, or just enjoys a little bit of an angle up there to help frame the face. Remember when we're doing this that we do actually want the wider or broader side up to the top. So you can see we're starting to get our little angel shape looking really nice there. Now the next part is a little bit tricky, and that's doing the halo. You take your 1 3/8 inch punch and punch a circle and pop that aside. Then we're going to take our 1 3/4 inch punch. We're just going to offset that so you've got a larger arc there at the top. Give it a punch, and then you've got a really nice little halo shape, and that's going to sit nicely around the angel there. So we're going to attach that next. Again, a weeny bit of Tombow there. Oh, this Tombow is flowing really well. Must be warm down here today. And then to make it quite strong, I'm going to add some of our tear and tape to the back of it, just to hold it in place. So you notice we're doing all of this before we actually put the back on. Oops. I forgot to bring that over, so that's sorry if I leant in front of the video. Just got to find the end of it. Here it is. It's called tear and tape because it does tear very easily, but you know, I really don't like tearing it. That's just a personal preference, but that's the way it is. So that's going to go over the top of the halo, and it can go down the back a little bit because next we're going to actually put the back of the skirt on, just to make that all nice and neat and tidy. So the skirt will go on there. We're going to put some Tombow across the back of the skirt. Not too much. We don't want Tombow everywhere because we get very, very sticky. But it's great glue. I really love this glue, and it's really good because you can maneuver it a little bit and get things exactly in the right place. So there we have the back so far and the front so far. So the back is still a bit messy, and this is where I like to put in the back of the head just to tidy that up. But before we do that, we need to put in a hanging apparatus, and I like to use now, I didn't for a long time, but I like to use this metallic thread. It's really, really strong, but it's really fine, so it actually goes particularly well for anything hanging because it doesn't make a very thick area that's hard to glue. So that's just going to go down there onto that little bit of leftover tear and tape, and then we're going to put a bit more glue on the back of our other head. Bit more glue on the back of the other head and place it over the top to mirror the front one exactly. Now sometimes I like to pop a peg on this to hold it together just while it's dry. Our arms to put in, so this is where the window punch comes in, just a nice little window, and we simply cut that in half. And again, just a dot of the Tombow, just a tiny dot there. And I like to put them in close here to the edge of the wing. Just press down, the dot was facing upwards, and they'll come onto the front part of the wing. And then another dot here for the other side. And again, doesn't matter if these aren't perfectly even or on the same angle. We hardly ever hold our hands exactly on the same angle and in perfect unison, so just give them a little bit of an angle there to make it look a little bit more realistic. There we go. I've punched this out of the leftover bit from inside the halo, so you can economise that way. This is the 1 inch punch. No, it's not, it's the 3/4 inch punch. And it's just going to sit in the middle there, and again we're going to use a wee bit of Tombow to hold that in place. Not too much, otherwise it'll be slipping and sliding. Just make sure it goes up over the join of the head there. It just gives you a nicer finish in the end. And we just set that aside to dry now. And while that's drying, we're going to actually make the little central flower that goes in there. So we use our pierce mat, and I have 4 little scallop circles. They're the 7/8 of an inch scallop circles, and we're just going to pierce them in the middle, pick them all up. It's probably best if they're not perfectly aligned, but if you're if that's what you like, by all means go ahead and do it. Make sure it's a good solid hole, and then we would place a brad inside there. And then we're going to just take each layer up and squish it around, and makes really a pretty little flower. And it's quite a firm little flower too, which is really nice to give this little angel a bit of 3D. Okay, then just tease it out, and there's your cute little flower. Now that's probably best because it's going onto the glimmer paper to be attached with a dimensional, but you can see how pretty that looks just with the blue against the silver. Right, so the last thing we have to do is the face. Now you don't have to put a face on your angel. I do like to. I like to use my markers, my Stampin' Right markers, and rather than using black, I prefer the grey. It just gives you a slightly softer look. So I'm just going to do some eyes. So just draw those in. Put some eyelashes on. And a little hint that I like to use is I get my blender pen out and I just blend the top of that eye a little bit to give her a little bit of an eyelid. You'll see this is starting to soften a little bit. Don't worry about cheeks or anything else. Just needs a bit of a hint of an eye there. And you can see that she's just a little bit softer. Thanks for watching, and if I can be of any more help, please contact me via my blog or my website, and the addresses are up at the end of this.